Yeah. Is this voice audible, online people? Now? Yes, perfect. Guys, in the last session, we discussed about how to perform transactions in the JDBC. So to perform non-select operations, transaction is mandatory. That means whenever you insert a record or update a record or delete a record, we need to commit the transaction. But when you perform select operation, that a transaction is optional. Now, as of now, whenever we are developing our programs, we have not committed the transaction. The reason for that is in the JDBC, whenever we open a connection, by default, auto commit mode will be true. What is the meaning of auto commit is true? What is the meaning of auto commit is true, guys? Right? Whenever we execute any non-select query, by default, it is going to commit the transaction. But I don't want to commit like that. I want to commit the transaction whenever I want. So for that, we are going to set auto commit as a false value. When my statements are executed, when my queries are executed successfully, then I am going to commit the transaction. If there is any problem occurred, then I am going to roll back the transaction. If you want to manage the transactions on your own, then you need to set auto commit as false. If all the queries are executed in the transaction, then only we are going to commit. Otherwise, we are going to roll back that transaction. Perfect. Now, after that, we have seen, I told you to work on connection pooling. Anybody done some research on connection pooling? Yeah. What is connection pooling? Right. Anyone else? What is a connection pooling? What is a connection pooling? Come on. What is a connection pooling? You know swimming pool? What is swimming pool? Pool of water. All the water they will collect and they will store in the pool so that we can reuse that water. Multiple days, we can reuse that water. Similarly, let us take one example. Okay. So in this, here we are having one class in the morning and one class in the evening, offline classes available. Morning 60 people are coming for 7 AM batch, evening 4 PM 60 people are coming. So morning one class is available, evening one class is available. For morning 60 people, 60 chairs. For evening 60 people, 60 chairs. Do I need to purchase separately or 60 chairs I can reuse? I can reuse. If I purchase 60 chairs, morning batch people can use the chairs. After that, their class will be completed. Evening batch people also can use the same 60 chairs. Can I say that is chairs reusability? Yes, that is a chairs reusability. So suppose if I don't have chairs reusability, then what is the problem? Every time I need to purchase the new chairs. For example, assume that there are 5 offline batches available. For every batch, 100 people are coming. So then do I need to purchase 500 chairs? No. If I purchase 100 chairs, first batch will complete. Then second batch will use the same chair. That batch is completed. Then third batch will use the same chairs. Like that, we can use chairs for multiple batches. That is called reusability. Now, similarly, in the company, there is a concept called resource pool. Whenever you go for a software company, there will be a concept called resource pool. Once you complete your interview, once you got selected in the interview, company will take you and the company will keep all the people in the resource pool. All the employees who joined in the company, initially they will be available in the resource pool. This resource pool is also called as bench in the IT. In the companies, resource pool is also called as a bench. Sir, what is the meaning of the bench? Bench means people are selected for the interview. They are selected in that interview. They joined in the company. Company will pay the salary also. But those people don't have any project. Those people are not allocated to any project. So the company selected the people. Company will keep the people ready. Why? Because assume that tomorrow we will get one project from a client. Client told that my project is very urgent. You need to complete my project in 3 months. To develop that project, 100 Java developers are required. Can company recruit 100 Java developers in 1 week? It is very, very difficult. They need to conduct the interviews. They need to take the interview. They need to select the right candidate and they need to give good offer letters, good offer, good package. Even if we give the good package, there is no guarantee that person will join or will not join. Suppose I selected you as my company employee for 5 lakhs package. You told that you will join after 2 weeks. Within these 2 weeks, you got another company offer letter with a 7 lakhs package. Will you join my company? No, you will go for the company which will give you 7 lakhs, right? So recruitment is the most difficult part in the IT nowadays. People are going for counter offers. What is the meaning of counter offer? They will take offer letter from one company. By showing that offer letter, they will demand more salary in the another company. Everybody will do that. Even I will also do that. If I get the job in one company, assume that some 10 lakhs package. I will attend another interview. If I select in that interview, I will ask how much you will give. They will say that we will give you 10 lakhs. Already I have an offer with 10 lakhs. Tell me if you can give 15, then I will come to you. Suppose they agreed for 15 lakhs. I got the offer letter. With this 15 lakhs, I will go to one more company. I have 15 lakhs offer. Will you give 20 lakhs? That is what is happening in the IT. That is happening in the IT. So recruitment is very, very, very difficult. When company want the people, immediately people will not join. So that's why every month company will conduct the interviews. Why every month company will conduct the interviews? Buffer. Company will keep the employees in the buffer because they don't know when client will come. They don't know when project will come. They don't know when the changes will come in the project. That's why every company will maintain some employees in the buffer. So the employees in the buffer, nothing but company will conduct the interview, company will select the people, people will join, but they will not have any project. They will be on the bench. Salary will come. Salary will come. Whenever there is a requirement in the project, company no need to conduct the interview. Why? Because people are already waiting in the pool. Now, in the company, assume that there are 3 projects available. Project 1, project 2, project 3. P1, project 1, P2, and P3. There are 3 projects available in the company. Assume that TCS company is having a resource pool. TCS recruited employees, Java people, DevOps people, testing people, UI people. They recruited, they kept in the resource pool. Now, when there is a requirement in the project 1, then project manager will tell to this resource pool will be managed by resource manager. One HR will be available for the resource pool. That HR is called as RM, resource manager. Now, whenever this project one requires 3 Java developers, this project manager will send an email to RM. Hey RM, my project needs 3 Java people by next week. We got a new requirement from the client. I need 3 Java developers from next Monday. So can that resource manager post a job ad in the Naukri, take the interview, select the people, give to Monday? Impossible, because people will not join immediately. Suppose in my company, I have 2 months notice period. If anybody give me 50 lakhs offer also, from tomorrow I can't join. 2 months I have to serve the notice period. So after 2 months only I can join in the new company. But that project one requires 3 Java developers from Monday. Then what company can do? Can they go and beg the people, please come to my company from Monday, I will give you 20 lakhs package? Your current company will file a case. Okay, you are working in the TCS for 5 lakhs. Infosys told you they will give you 10 lakhs if you come from Monday. From Monday, if you go to Infosys, Tuesday you will go to jail. Yes or no? Why Tuesday you will go to jail? TCS will file a case on you. So every company will have some policies. So that policy is a notice period. If I want to change from one company to another company, I need to serve my notice period. Some companies will have 1 month notice. Some companies will have 2 months. Some companies will have 3 months notice period. Okay. So recruitment is the most difficult job. Recruitment is the most difficult job in the IT. That is the reason in IT, 365 days interviews will happen. Why 365 days interviews will happen? Because of the resource pool. If I select 10 people, there is no guarantee 10 people will join. Sometimes 10 people may join. Sometimes only 2 people may join. Sometimes nobody will join. Okay, this already happened. In my project, in the December, we selected 3 candidates. We expected that they will join after Pongal. My HR sent a mail yesterday. 3 people are not responding to calls. What is the meaning of that? They may got the another job with more package. Now again we need to conduct the interviews. We expected that they are 4 years experienced people, Java full stack developers. I have taken the interviews. I selected them. Company gave the offer letter. They need to join after Pongal. Yesterday we expected that people will join. They are not lifting the HR phone calls. That means they got another job with the better package. It jumped. Right? Now again we need to conduct the interviews. So that is the problem in the IT. Okay. So that's why every company will maintain a resource pool. Whether there is a work or no work, company will conduct interviews every day. The reason, they will select the people. After 2 months, that person may come or may not come. We don't know. If that person join, then company HR is lucky. Otherwise, HR again has to start the recruitment process. That is the reason every company will maintain a resource pool concept for employees reusability. Conducting the interview, selecting the candidate, giving the offer letter, waiting for that person to join is a time waste process. It will take a lot of time. If you give offer letters to 10 people, mostly 2 to 3 people will join. Remaining 8 people will jump with the counter offer. That will happen mostly with the experienced candidates. For freshers, that is very less. Fresher means if you get the job, you will join directly. But for experience, they will have more demand. They will attend more interviews. They will get more offer letters. So yesterday, one person got 21 lakhs offer letter. You have seen the poster. He got 8 offer letters. 8 companies are waiting for him. We don't know where he will join. Yes or no? So that is the problem. So that's why every company will maintain resource pool. Company will select the candidates. They will keep them in the resource pool. Now, project one manager will send a mail to resource manager. Will send a mail to resource manager. Now, what this project manager will tell, hey RM, I need 3 Java people by Monday. He will send you a mail. So now HR need to conduct the interview, or people are already ready? Already ready. From this, these 3 candidates will be assigned to project one. Okay, so people are available in the pool. 3 candidates are assigned to project one. Another project also got the requirement, 1 person assigned to the project two. Now, like this, people will be there in the resource pool. From the resource pool, they will be allocated to the project. After 6 months, project is completed. Project completed. Once the project is completed, what about these 3 people? Company will remove them, or again they will come to the pool. Once the project work is completed, again they will come to the resource pool. Again they will wait for the next project. Again they will wait for the next project. 1 or 2 months, if there is no work also, company will pay the salary. Why company will pay the salary even though there is no project? Because company needs the people for the future projects. Okay, this project is completed. 2 months there is no project. Yes, there is no project for 2 months. I want to save the salary amount. I will remove these people. If I remove these people, who will lose? Employee will lose the salary. Suddenly he will lose the job. And after removing the people, next day I got another project from the client. Then what I need to do? Hiring. Hiring is easy. Hiring is very, very, very difficult. Hiring is very, very, very difficult. Got my point? Right. That is the reason in the company, there is a concept called resource pool. So employees will be on the bench. Sir, what we need to do when we are in the bench? What we need to do when we are in the bench? What we need to do? क्या करना पड़ेगा? Daily, you need to check with the resource manager. Is there any requirement for my profile? So this is my profile. If you have any requirement, please tell me. If you have any requirement, please tell me. Like that, we need to connect with the resource manager every day. At least once we need to message. I am available. I am free. Is there any project available for my profile? If available, let me know. Like that, we need to get into touch with the resource manager. In some companies, bench will be there 3 months, 5 months, 1 year also. 1 year also bench will be available. For 1 year, there may not be any project, but still you are employee for that company, you will get the monthly salary also. Got it? Fine. Now, so 3 employees are assigned to project 1. After that project work is completed, again those employees will come back to resource pool. Then again they will go to next project they will work. Once that project also completed, again they will come back to resource pool. Like that, in the companies, every software company will maintain resource pool. Now TCS will do campus interview. Do you think that our heroes will join in the TCS, will develop a project? Freshers. What TCS will do for the freshers? They will be kept in the bench for 1 year. TCS will maintain the freshers in the bench for 1 year. In that 1 year of period, TCS will provide the training for the people. 8 hours of training will be available. Morning to evening training will be available. Exams will be available. If they pass in the exam, they will conduct 1 more interview. That is called as a client interview. Once they clear that client interview, then only they will go to the project. Otherwise, TCS will assign documentation work. Prepare the Java training document, prepare the React document, DevOps document. They will prepare the documents in the first year. Freshers will not be working on the project directly in the first year. It will take 1 year of time for them to understand the IT culture, to understand the project requirement, to understand the technology. So first 1 year, they will enjoy on the bench. Then after, once they are good in the technology, they are good in the skill, then only you will go to the project. Got it? Even for experienced people also bench will be available. When I joined in the Deloitte company, I was on the bench for 4 months. 4 months no work. Daily go to office, swipe the card, present, then go to canteen, here and there, games, then evening 6 o'clock, swipe, come to home. 4 months, this is the work. 4 months enjoy because there is no project. So every day I will go to resource manager. Is there any project? Please don't come to me. If there is any project, I will tell you. If there is any project, I will tell you, don't disturb me. Okay, 4 months completed. Finally, they gave one project. So like that, in the company to company, that process is going to change. Right. Now, so what is the advantage of the resource pool? What is the advantage of the resource pool? Employees reusability. So when the company needs the employees, conducting the interview, selecting the candidate, hiring the people is very difficult. It is very difficult and time-taking process. That is the reason in the IT, every day interviews will happen. Every day interviews will happen because people may join, may not join. That's why every day companies will be conducting the interviews. Now we understood what is the resource pool. People will be assigned to the project. Once the project is completed, people will come back to resource pool. Then they will find the another project. Okay. Now similarly, let's talk about our database. Let's talk about our database. Now this is my database software I'm using for my project. This is my database software which I'm using for my project. Here my Java application is available. In this Java application, I'm writing some methods. Here I have a method called save method. Okay guys, assume that there is a save method to insert a record, and there is a update method, and there is a delete method. Delete method is available, and retrieve method is select method is available. Select method is available. Retrieve. Okay. Save, update, delete, select, retrieve. Like that, there are 4 methods available in my Java program. I want to communicate with the database. Save method will communicate with the database. To communicate with the database, it needs one connection. Okay. Update method also want to communicate with the database. It needs one connection. Delete method also need one connection. Select method also needs one connection. Like this, in my project, 1000 methods are available. So I have taken the example of just 4 methods: insert, update, and delete. So for 4 methods, I want to get 4 connections with the database to execute the query. So in order to execute a query, we will use a statement or prepared statement. In order to create that statement or prepared statement, we need to get the connection object. How many connections I need for this program? 4 connections I need. Suppose assume that my project is having 1000 methods like this. Then I need to get 1000 connections from the database. In our project, some freshers are available. They don't know proper detail about the database. They're opening the connection, but they are not closing the connection. Okay. So in my project, 10 people are working, 1000 methods we created. Some people are experienced people. They know how to open the connection, how to close the connection. Some freshers are there. They don't know the impact of the connection. They just opened the connection. They are executing query, but they are not closing the connection. Then what will happen? Then what will happen? After 1 week, after 10 days, my project will get all the free connections from the database. Connections are completed. Database connections are completed. Then what will happen to our project? People can use our project or cannot use our project? Cannot use our project, because for every method, we are opening a connection, but we are forgetting to close the connection. So that's why getting the connection in the every method is not recommended. Are you clear, guys? So as of now, if you see in our previous examples, when I'm inserting a record, I'm getting one connection. When I am updating a record, I'm getting one connection. When I'm deleting a record, I'm getting one connection. If I get those many connections from the database, after 1 week, what will happen? All my connections will be completed in the database. When all the connections are completed in the database, new methods cannot perform the operation because there is no connection. So whatever the code that we are writing, that is okay for practice, but not recommended in the real time. Why? Because web applications, so many people will access at a time. Facebook, how many people will access at a time? Millions of people. If a million connections, can we open million connections with the database? First of all, database will have million connections? No, maximum 100 or 200 or 1000 connections will be available. But how million users are able to access Facebook at a time? That's where connections reusability concept comes into picture. Here, employees reusability is there. Employees, I am giving to one project for 3 months. Project is completed. Then I will get the employees back to the pool. I will give these same employees to another project also. If second project work also completed, I will give the same employees to third project also. Like that, whoever the employees available in the company, we are going to reuse them. Similarly, when we are developing our project also, for every database operation, we should not get the new connection. For every operation, if you get a new connection, after 1 week or 10 days, your database connections will be completed. That is called connection exhausted problem. Connections will exhaust. What is the meaning of connections exhaust? Whatever the connections are available in the database, those connections will be completed. New methods cannot get the connection, then our project operation will fail. So that's why it is not at all recommended to get the new connection for every operation. So instead of getting new connection for every operation, what we need to do is, from the database, I will take some connections. I will keep the connections in the connection pool. I will store the connections in the connection pool. Sir, how many connections we can store? Assume that I'm setting minimum connections as 10, maximum connections as 20. Minimum connections I'm keeping as 10, maximum connections I'm keeping as 20. I will create a pool. When my project is started, from the database, I will get the 10 connections. I will keep in the pool. I will take the 10 connections from the database. I will keep these 10 connections in the connection pool. Here, my Java program is available. In my Java program, I have some methods like M1 method, M2 method is available, and M3 method is available, M4 method, and so on. M100 method is also available. Like this, 100 methods available in the project, they want to communicate with the database. So now, these 100 methods will take a new connection, or these 100 methods will take the connection from a pool. These methods will take the connections from the pool. First method has taken the connection from a pool. First method operation completed. Whatever the connection given to the M1 method, connection will come back to pool. M2 method also can reuse the same connection. In the earlier program, what happened? Every method is directly getting the connection from the database. If directly we get the connection from the database, what is the problem? Connection exhausted problem will come. Connections will complete in future. If every method getting a connection from the database, we will get connections exhausted problem. Are you clear? Now, in order to overcome that problem, we are going to create connection pool concept. To overcome that problem, we'll create connection pool concept. What is the connection pool? We will get some connections from the database. We will store in a pool. When our program requires a connection, don't take from the database, take from the pool. Why we need to take from the pool? In the pool, what are the connections available? those connections are reusable. What are the connections we have? Those connections are reusable. If you directly open a connection with the database, that is not reusable. You have taken a connection. If you don't close it, nobody can reuse that connection. 100 connections I opened, but I have not closed. Those 100 connections nobody can use. So after some time, our connections will complete in the database. Our project will stuck. So that's why always we need to go for connection pool concept. What is the meaning of connection pool? Creating the connections and storing in the pool for reusability. When our program requires a connection, don't take a physical connection with the database, take a logical connection from the connection pool. And another beauty is to manage the connection pool, we are having pool managers. There is a concept called pool manager is available. For the every connection pool, one pool manager will be available. Whenever you open a connection, if you don't close it, pool manager will check. Sometime it will wait 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Are you using the connection? No. Then close that connection automatically. Even if you don't close the connection, connection will be closed by pool manager when you go for connection pool. But suppose if you go like this, if you get a connection, you are responsible to close it. If you don't close it, connection will open. Nobody can reuse that connection. But when you go for connection pooling concept, I'm going to get some connections from the database. I will store those connections in the connection pool. From the connection pool, my program will take the connection. If my program not closing the connection also, no problem. Why? Am I getting a direct connection? Am I getting a connection from the pool? First, I will take 10 connections. I will keep in the pool. My program will take the connection from the pool only. For every connection pool, there will be a pool manager. What is the responsibility of the pool manager? Give the connection, take the connection. I will give the connection to you. If you are not using it, after some time, I will close that connection automatically. So are you going to get connections problem with this approach? No, because connections are available in the pool. I will give you connection. After some time, I will take it back and I will give it to someone else. Like that, we can reuse database connections by using connection pooling. So in our previous programs, whatever we have done, am I using a connection pool? Am I getting the connection directly? See here. Am I using a connection pool? Am I getting the connection directly? I'm getting the connection directly. How can we say I'm getting a direct connection? Because I'm using driver manager dot get connection. Driver manager dot get connection is the dangerous line. It is very danger. Why it is very danger? It will give you physical connection from the database. When you get a physical connection, you have to close it. You have to close it. If you don't close it, nobody can use it. Instead of that going for physical connection, I will go for logical connection by using connection pooling. Now, the question is how to create a connection pool, how to get the connections, how to store in the pool, how to reuse the connections programmatically. That part we need to understand. Theoretically, are you clear? What is connection pool? Connection pool is the process of storing set of connections for reusability. Now, make a note. Heading connection pooling. Connection pooling is the process of getting fixed number of connections from database and store them into a pool for reusability. Connection pooling is the process of getting fixed number of connections from database and store them into a pool for reusability. Connection pooling is the process of getting fixed number of connections from database and store them into a pool for reusability. If we don't use a connection pooling, if we don't use connection pooling concept, then our project will run into connections exhausted problem. If we don't use connection pooling concept, then our project will run into connections exhausted problem. That means no free connections, no connections available. If we don't use connection pooling concept, then our project will run into connections exhausted problem. No connections available to communicate with database. If we use a driver manager.get connection, if we use driver manager.get connection, if we use driver manager.get connection, it will give physical connection with the database. It will give physical connection with database. If we use driver manager.get connection, it will give physical connection with database. If we use driver manager.get connection, it will give physical connection with database. It will give physical connection with the database. It is not at all recommended. It is not at all recommended to use physical connections. It is not recommended to use physical connections. Always we need to use logical connections to perform DB operations. To use logical connections, we need to set up connection pooling. If we use driver manager.get connection, it will give physical connection with the database. It is not at all recommended to use physical connections. Always we need to use logical connections to perform database operations. To use logical connections, we need to set up connection pool. To use logical connections, we need to set up connection pool. Okay, take this diagram. With this diagram, you need to understand from the database we are getting the connections, we are storing in the pool. From the pool, our project will take the connections. From the pool, our project will take the connections. We will set it. If we don't set, it will take some default value. Understand, guys? Now, next question. Theoretically, we understood what is connection pooling. What is connection pooling? Connection pooling is the process of getting fixed number of connections from database and store them into a pool for reusability. So in our project, multiple methods will be available to perform database operations. For every method, getting a physical connection is not recommended. Every method it is getting a physical connection means after some time connections will be completed. So always we need to set up logical connections to use in the project. If you go for logical connections, what is the advantage? Reusability. M1 method will take one connection from the pool. After M1 work is completed, connection will go back to the pool. For M2 method, same connection can be reused. M2 work is completed, connection will go to the pool. M3 method can use the same connection. Every time my program is communicating with the database for connection, or it is not communicating? No, only first time when my project is started, I will take the connection and I will store in the pool. My methods will take the connections from the pool only. That is called connection reusability. With this connection pooling concept, our project performance also will be improved. Every time I no need to interact with the database to get the connection. Connections are already available. I will use the connection and I will directly execute the query. Suppose if I am going for driver manager.get connection to delete the record, how many times I will communicate with the database? 2 times. To get the connection 1 time, to execute the query second time. Are you getting my point? So now I have 100 methods, 100 connections I'm getting. How many times my program will communicate? 200 times. 100 times just to get the connection, 100 times to execute the query. So it is increasing number of round trips between the Java and database. So this is another reason why we should not go for a physical connection. Whenever you call driver manager or get connection, always our program will communicate with the database to get the connection. Then we will execute the query. Again, we will communicate with the database. 2 times we will hit the database. Java application will run in one computer. Database will run in another computer. So from Java application, we should connect it to the database. There is a network call. So from one system, the request should go to another system. Definitely performance will be decreased. So another advantage of going for connection pool, connections reusability, and performance improvement. Note that point. With the connection pooling, we can improve. With the connection pooling, we can improve performance of the application. With the connection pooling, we can improve performance of the application. With the connection pooling, we can improve performance of the application. How performance will be improved with the connection pooling, guys? Connections reusability. How performance will be improved with the connection pooling? No need to interact with the database to get the connection. Connections we will get only one time. Those connections are available in the pool. Now I want to insert a query. I want to insert a record by using query. Do I need to get the connection from the database, or connection is already ready-made available? Connection is already ready-made available. I will take the connection from the pool and I will execute my query. I will take the connection from the pool and I will execute my query. So only query execution will happen with the database. Connection is already available. So how many times I am communicating? Only one time. If I use a driver manager now in this program, how many times I am communicating with the database? One time or two times? Two times. How two times? First time it is getting the connection from the database. So it will connect with the database to get the connection. After getting the connection, then executing the query. Again, it will connect with the database. Suppose if I don't go for this driver manager connection, if I take the connection from the pool, only one time it will execute to execute the query directly. So with this, can we improve the performance by using connection pooling? Yes, we can improve performance of our project by using connection pooling. With the connection pooling, there are two advantages available. What are the two advantages with the connection pooling? What are the two advantages with the connection pooling? One is connections reusability. Second one, performance will be improved. Okay, now how to set up connection pooling in our project? How to set up the connection pool in the project? How to set up connection pool? How to set up connection pool? Connection pooling we can set up in two ways. Okay, guys, we can set up a connection pool in two ways. One is client-side connection pool, and server managed connection pool. Hold on. One is client-side connection pool. Second one is server managed connection pool. In the client-side connection pool, DBCP, C3P0, Hikari, etc. Like that, there are several libraries are available. DBCP is one library. C3P0 is one library. Hikari is one library. By using these third-party libraries, we can set up a connection pool in our project. We are using MySQL driver from the jar file. Similarly, that connection pool managers are available in the third-party libraries. DBCP is one library. By using DBCP library, we can set up a connection pool. And C3P0 is one library. By using that also, we can set up a connection pool. And we are having Hikari. By using Hikari also, we can set up a connection pool. So that is creating the connection pool at our project only, at the client side only, by using third-party libraries. Suppose if you are developing a web applications, then we can go for server managed connection pool. So example, Tomcat will support for connection pool, JBoss will support for connection pool, and WebLogic will support for connection pool. Once we go for servlets, then we will talk about server managed connection pool. Now we don't know what is a server, how to set up the server. So first we are going to talk about this client side connection pool. DBCP, C3P0 connection pools are old connection pool. Hikari is the latest. In the Spring Boot, Hikari is the default connection pool. Now we are developing JDBC application. Everything we need to do manually. Tomorrow when we go for Spring Boot will use Hikari connection pool automatically. That is by default. Today I will show you how to work with the Hikari connection pool. Are you getting my point? So now I want to set up connection pool in my project. What is the meaning of connection pool? Get some connections, store in the pool. My program will take a connection from the pool whenever it is required. My program will take a connection from the pool whenever it is required. Right. Client side connection pool and server managed connection pool. So client side connection pool means some third party libraries are available to manage our connections in the project. If you are developing your project by using a web application, then you will use a server to run the application. Server also can provide you the connection pool. If a server is providing the connection pool, then that is called as server managed connection pool. Tomcat server. Once we go for servlets, next week we will start the servlets. In the servlets, we are going to use a Tomcat, JBoss, WebLogic servers to run the project. When we go for the server, within the server, we can set up the connection pool. Our project will take the connection from the server. Server will manage the connection. If a server is managing the database connections for the project, that connection pool is called as server managed connection pool. Right now, we don't know what is a server. So which option we can use now? Client side connection pool. What are those? DBCP, C3P0, Hikari. Sun Microsystem did not give this. These are third-party libraries. Okay, how to use a third-party library in our project? That third-party libraries are available in the jar. So that jar we need to add to our project build path. Are you clear with my point? Yes, right. Now let's go to here. Let me create a project, guys. Let me create project file, new Java project. I'm going to use Hikari CP JDBC app. Hikari connection pool, JDBC application I'm creating. Next and finish. My project is created. Now, for this project, guys, we need to add the jar files. I have downloaded the jars. I will share the jar files now. So how many jar files I'm going to use? 3 jar files. One is Hikari jar file. Another one is MySQL connector. Already we need MySQL connector. Why we need MySQL connector? Why we need MySQL connector? That is having MySQL driver. To set up the connection pool, I need a Hikari library. Hikari library is available as Hikari cp.jar. To use the Hikari CP, SLF4j API is required. They are dependent. They are dependent. One jar file is dependent on the another jar file. Okay. So here, Hikari CP jar file, I'm going to use SLF4j jar file, I'm going to use MySQL connector jar file, I'm going to use. So total, how many jars I need to add to build path now? 3. Tomorrow when I go for servlet, one more jar file will come. So these jar files are libraries we need to add to our build path. If I don't want to add the jars, if you don't want to download the jars manually, can we automate that? Maven. Today Shekhar sir has taken workshop for the Maven. Anybody attended? No? Build tool. So if you use Maven, once we go in the coming classes, we are going to discuss about Maven. When we use Maven, Maven will download the jar files automatically. We no need to download. Now we are doing manual work. In future, automation. To automate that work, we will go for Maven. Okay, fine, no problem. Now we are going to use these 3 jar files in the build path. These 3 jar files I will add. What are the 3 jar files? One is Hikari CP, another one is MySQL connector, another one is SLF4J. What is the purpose of MySQL connector? What is the purpose of MySQL connector, guys? MySQL connector is having driver. Which driver? MySQL driver. What is Hikari CP? Hikari CP is a third-party library to establish connection pooling. That means we need some classes to set up the connection pool. Those classes are available in the Hikari CP jar file. Hikari CP connection pool we are creating manually today. But once you go for Spring, Spring will create that connection pool automatically. I no need to create that connection pool in the Spring framework or Spring Boot. Now we are working with the JDBC, which is very outdated technology. So everything we need to do manually. Going forward, in the latest market, people are using Hibernate. People are using Spring Boot. They will take care of the connections pool also. You no need to create the connection pool manually. Are you getting my point? Yes. Okay. I have created my project, that is Hikari CP JDBC app. Just one empty project is created. Can you tell me how to set the build path? Right click, build path, configure build path, add external jars. 3 jar files. Hikari CP jar file I am adding, MySQL connector jar and SLF4J. Click on open, apply, close. With this we are good. With this we are good. Connection pool dependencies are ready. Libraries are ready. Now let's create one simple Java class. Let's create one simple Java class in dot Ashok IT. Here, can I call it as a connection factory? Yes or no? What is the meaning of factory? What is the meaning of factory? Which will manufacture the right, which will create some products. That is called as a factory. Now here, I'm taking it as a connection factory. What is the meaning of connection factory? Which will manage, which will create the connections, which will create, that is naming convention. If you write a demo, what is a demo? Nobody will understand. There is no readability. If I write a tester, there is no readability. If I write a connection factory, anybody who look at the class, by looking at my class name, people will understand what this class will do. So as a programmer, we need to maintain that readability. Other developers should be able to understand our code easily. Are you clear with my point? Yes. Now, public static void main. Now here, I want to create connection pool. Which library we are using? Hikari CP we are using to create the connection pool. Here, Hikari CP, Hikari config. There is a class called Hikari config. Is it our class or it is a Hikari configuration class? Predefined. Third party. What is the package? com.jaxer.hikari.hikari config. So that is not our class. Can I say it is a Sun Micro System class? No, it is a third party class. Somebody developed that class. We are using in our project. Now, do you understand how to, in the initial days of advanced Java, I explained one project class we are using in the another project. At that time, you may not that clarity. Why is creating one class in one project, another class in one project? Why to use one class project in the another class? Now, do you understand? So the Hikari config class is developed by one company. That class I want to use in my project. How can we use one project class in another project? By taking the jar file into build path. Okay, I have added Hikari CP jar file to the build path. That jar file contains Hikari config class. Hikari config class I'm using to create the Hikari connection pool. Hikari config is equal to new Hikari config. I created object for Hikari configuration class. When this Hikari configuration class want to get some connections from the database, that should know where is my database. Are you clear, guys? I'm using third-party library. How this Hikari will know what is my database? My database may be Oracle, my database may be MySQL, it may be Postgres, it may be MongoDB, it can be anything. How this Hikari will understand with which database we want to get the connection pool? We need to set the details. Okay, set what is your database URL, what is your database username, and what is your database password. There are ready-made methods available. Config dot set URL. What is that URL? JDBC URL. Now similarly, we have config dot set username, your database username. Config dot set password. What is the meaning of that? I am telling to Hikari, where is my database? What is the username of my database? And what is the password of my database? Next one, config dot set max pool size. What is the meaning of set max pool size? How many connections maximum you want to get? And the next one, config dot set minimum pool size. Set minimum idle. Set minimum idle. How many minimum connections should be idle in the pool? That count we need to maintain. Now config dot set to pool suspension, auto commit, connection init, connection test, connection timeout, data source, driver class name. You can set the driver class name, set JDBC URL, maximum pool size, lifetime, minimum idle, password, pool name, read only. Like that, there are so many methods are available. So by using these methods, we are going to set up connection pool. JDBC URL, username, password, pool size, and idle time. Okay, let me take those things. We already configured database properties, right? Yeah, let me take this. Okay, these are the static variables only. I'm going to configure that. Sorry. Yeah, maximum pool size I'm keeping 20. Minimum idle time I'm minimum set minimum. Set a minimum idle 5. Okay, some value. Now, so with this, I'm able to prepare the configuration. Where is my database? What is the URL? What is the username? And what is the password? Now, with this, I need to create the connection pool. In order to create the connection pool, we are having Hikari data source. What is that? Hikari data source is available. New Hikari data source with the config. Finally, I created Hikari data source object. Hikari config class I used to store my connection details and my pool details. With that information, Hikari config object I am passing to Hikari data source. Data source nothing but connection pool. What is the meaning of data source? Data source nothing but connection pool. Now Hikari data source object is created. Once Hikari data source available, data source dot get connection. Now, do we need to get the connection from the database or we need to get the connection from the data source? We need to get the connection from the data source. So once we get the connection, system.out.println, let's print that connection. Let's print that connection. Okay, run this program, run as Java application. No. That is loggers failed, guys. That is logger. Am I able to get the connection? Am I able to get the JDBC connection with MySQL database? Yes, I am able to get the connection with the database. Am I getting the connection? This is printing the toString method. Whenever we print the object, what will happen? The object class toString method will be called. Connection class, connection is an interface. For that connection, one implementation class is available. That implementation class, the toString method is executed. The toString method printing the result like this. Okay, Hikari proxy connection object is created. Hikari proxy connection object is wrapped into MySQL connection. We get the connection from the MySQL database. So whatever the connection we got, this connection is a physical connection or this connection is a logical connection. Logical connection. Why it is a logical connection? Am I writing driver manager.get connection? No. If I write a driver manager.get connection, then it will create a physical connection. Now, I am not writing driver manager.get connection. I am writing data source.get connection. What is the meaning of data source? Data source nothing but a connection pool. Now, can I insert one record into table with this logical connection? Yes, let's try. MySQL workbench. Let me go to a table. Let me see which table is available. Books table is available. Select a star from books. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, can you see that there are some records available in the books table? 201 record is also available. Now, I want to insert 202 record into that table. I will write my query here. String SQL is equal to insert into books values 202 something like Django price some 4,500. Can I say this is my SQL query? You can use prepared statement also, anything is fine. Now I'm going to take it as a connection. Here I created a SQL. Now to execute this query, I'm going for con.create statement. It will return me statement object. stmt dot execute update. I'm passing SQL. Okay. Now, finally, con.close. Is it mandatory now? It is optional. Even if you don't close it, pool manager is going to take care of it. Okay. System.out.println record inserted. You check it. 202 record I am trying to insert. So here up to 201 only we have the data. Run as Java application. Record inserted. Go to database, select the star from books, run this. Now, can you see 202 record is inserted? So with the physical connection, we are able to insert the data, and with the logical connection also, we are able to insert the data. Okay. Now, so see the code. Simple only. Hikari config object I created. For that config object, I'm setting the values. I'm setting the pool size. From that config, I'm creating a data source. From the data source, I'm getting the connection. Then rest of the code is the same. Only how to get the connection, that is different. Earlier, we used to get the connection from the driver manager. Now we are getting the connection from the data source. Are you clear, guys? Yeah. Note down how to set up connection pool. Have you taken that? This one. Take it. How to set up connection pool? We can set up connection pool in two ways. Completed? Now, steps to develop JDBC app with Hikari connection pool. Steps to develop JDBC app with Hikari connection pool. Create Java project. Create Java project in IDE. Add below jars to project build path. One is Hikari cp.jar. Then second one is slf4j api.jar, and the third one is MySQL connector.jar. I will give the jar files, guys, in the group. I will give the jar files in the group. Create a Java class. Create Java class to set up connection pool. Create Java class to set up connection pool like below. Create Java class to set up pool connection pool like below. Yeah, take this program. You can take it from here, guys. From main method, class and all not required. I shared the jar files in the WhatsApp group. You can download that zip file. Yeah, share the link. We'll see. I mean, there are maybe they are using basic data source class. That is different DBCP connection pool. This is Hikari connection pool. So in our project, wherever we need connection, are we going to use a driver manager or a data source connection? We need to use data source connections. Advantage, reusability, performance will be improved. In the servlets, I will explain this concept, guys. When we talk about servers, at that time I will tell you how to configure connection pool by using servers. Some best practices. Best practices like exam. From Tuesday we will start servlet. Monday. Monday morning 11 o'clock. Tomorrow preparation. You revise everything, SQL queries mainly. Okay, guys. Monday at 11 o'clock, exam is there on JDBC plus SQL. SQL notes is there. Read that SQL notes. Lot of queries we will ask in the interview. JDBC questions also be prepared. Monday 11 to 1 interview will be available. 11 to 1 or 10 to 1? 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours it will take to write. 2 hours minimum. 11 to 1 is fine now. 11 o'clock. I will also come by 11 o'clock. Monday we will conduct the interview on the JDBC and SQL questions. Mobiles everybody should keep here. Okay. Online people also Monday at 11 o'clock we'll start the meeting, and you guys also need to write that exam. We'll tell the exam questions for online people separately. For offline people, I will give the exam paper. You need to write it by sitting here. Okay, guys. Fine. So tomorrow, practice all your JDBC concepts, whatever we have learned, and mostly focus on the SQL queries. So SQL queries also will be there in the exam. You need to write the SQL queries as well. Okay? Right. So once Monday exam is completed, in the Monday evening session, I will explain some best practices we need to follow to work with JDBC. Okay. And I will show you how to connect with the Oracle database. Anybody tried Oracle database? Already tried? Working now? Yeah, not working. So JDBC. Yeah. Monday bring your laptop. In my database, Oracle is not, my system Oracle is not there. Bring your laptop. I will show you how to connect with Oracle database also. So MySQL database and Oracle database, and best practices. When we are working with the database, what are the best practices that we need to follow? That also I'm going to discuss after our exam got completed. So for Monday, everybody please prepare all the topics in the JDBC. Syllabus wise, topics are completed, and in the real time, we will follow some best practices. Those best practices I will explain. Once your exam is completed, I will discuss the best practices. Monday and Tuesday we'll finish it off. From Wednesday, we will start our servlets, where we are going to develop web application. Servlets will take 2 weeks of time. Servlets will take 2 weeks. JSP, 1 week is sufficient hardly. Okay, guys. So now, once this is done, you guys will have Hibernate classes. Okay, before going to start the Spring Boot, some basics of Hibernate is required. Shekhar sir is going to take the Hibernate classes for you people. And Oracle offline, you guys are asking, right? Oracle offline class also will be there. So whatever the SQL knowledge is required for Java developers, that concepts will be explained by Shekhar sir only. Shekhar sir will explain those SQL queries, how to write the SQL queries, and with the Hibernate also. Some classes he will take on Hibernate. Once it is Hibernate and Oracle queries are completed, then we will start Spring Boot and microservices. That also offline batch only. Okay? So practice, focus on this. Once the servlets are started, every day we will conduct exams for you. And we will take some mock interviews also. Interviews on Core Java as well as JDBC, servlets and Oracle class. Oracle concepts and all those stuff. So we are preparing exam papers alternate days, not every day, alternate. Weekly 2-3 exams will be conducted on Java logical programming part. Theoretical questions will be there, programmatic questions will be there, multiple choice, because we need to get ready for attending the interview. So lot of practice is required. Once your Hibernate classes are completed, we will start that process. Once servlets are started offline. Yes. Okay, guys. Good. Any doubts? Right. SBMS, JRTP, both, दोनों morning evening चालू हो जाता. We'll see, sir. Based on the flexibility, we will see that. Okay. Based on the schedule, either sir or I will take that. Okay. That's fine. Both Shekhar sir batch also will start. My batch also will start. Whichever batch you want to attend, you can do that. It is your option. Okay. Once a Spring Boot is started, after 20 days we will start it. Some basic knowledge of Spring Boot is required for that. That it parallel कर सकते हैं. Mostly by March ending, we will try to finish it off. Mostly by March ending or April first week, we'll try to complete, because so daily 2 to 2.5 hours classes we will take. In the online, we are taking only 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. It is taking 3 to 4 months of time. So here for you people, we will take 2 to 2.5 hours, and morning and evening classes will be available. So by March ending or by April first week, we'll complete the full stack development. Okay, guys. 2.5 months it will come around. Hibernate Spring Boot parallel start ho jata hai. Once servlets are completed, by servlets mostly will complete by this month end. In the February, Hibernate will start, Spring Boot will start. Okay, Hibernate 20 days it will be there. No, in the Feb only. Okay, then it's fine. Otherwise, it will go to up to April, no problem. Right? So whatever is there in the syllabus, everything will be covered. So otherwise, it will take 1 month extra. That's not a problem, right? Mostly by April, मान के चलो. By April, we will complete the syllabus. Okay? In the JRTP, you will get that also. Both SBMS, JRTP will start parallel. Okay, mostly in the February mid they will start. The February mid they will start. Okay, by that time you need to complete your Oracle and that Hibernate part, all that stuff. After Hibernate it will start. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Any other questions? No, not like that. पता चलेगा how much JDBC you practiced Monday, पता चलेगा. SQL queries you need to prepare, sir. These 2 days, please go through the SQL notes. Day-wise notes is available. Please read all the notes. What are the queries you have learned now? So we'll practice. So after attending this interview, you will understand how good you are in the SQL. And sir will explain how to write the SQL join queries. Java developer, how much SQL knowledge is required. Sir will cover that part in the offline only. Okay? Any other doubts? Any other questions? Mock interviews. All of you ready for mock interviews? Okay? Not me. Other people will take your mock interviews. If I take mock interview, maja kya aayega, bhai? You are listening to my class. If I take the interview, same questions will come. Different people will take your interview. Then you will understand your performance. For online student, when the batch we completed, sir, please tell. Same time. When batch is completed for offline, same time for online also, na? Okay. Yeah, mostly by April. Yeah. Think up to April it is going to take. Yes. Fine, guys. So good. Please practice JDBC programs, each and everything. Lot of tricky questions will be available. So you need to clear that interview. And programming part also will be there. You need to write that. At the same time, SQL queries also will be there in the interview. You need to write those queries as well. Okay. So mostly 2 hours that exam will be there on Monday. Monday morning at 11 o'clock, exam is going to start. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on Monday.